Your cat does something when they walk toward you that lasts about 2 seconds, and most people either miss it completely or worry something's medically wrong. The tail goes straight up and the very tip starts to quiver, a tiny shiver running through it. If you've noticed that and wondered what on earth it was, it's one of the oldest trust signals in feline behavior. Hi everyone, I'm Leo Bennett, your neighborhood cat guy. Today I'm giving you 9 ways your cat proves you've earned their deepest trust. Not affection exactly. Safety, which is a bigger thing and a harder thing to earn. And almost all of these are so small and so ordinary that people walk straight past them every day without knowing what they just saw. So go and find your cat, because a few of these you can check tonight. Small thing before we carry on. This is one chapter of a much bigger conversation about what your cat is trying to tell you, and I've gathered all of it into a book called The Happy Cat Manual over at leobennettsecrets.com. Go take a look if you want more happy years with your cat. That's all. So let's start with that quivering tail. That vibration is a greeting, and it's the same one kittens give their mother after being separated. It's one of the very first social signals a kitten learns, and it means, roughly, I recognize you and I'm glad you're here. And here's what makes it so honest. It's partly involuntary. Your cat can't decide to do it and can't fake it. The body produces it before the brain catches up. So when you walk in and that tail goes up and shivers, that isn't a performance. That's a nervous system reacting to the sight of you. Some cats do it so gently you could blink and miss it. Others practically shake with it. Both count, and the intensity says more about the cat's personality than about how much they like you. You'll sometimes see a version of this that looks alarming and isn't. Behaviorists call it phantom spraying. Your cat backs up against something, the tail quivers exactly as it does when greeting you, and nothing comes out. It's often the same signal firing. This is my place, this is my person. One caveat, if anything does come out, that's spraying, a different conversation about stress or territory, and worth a vet visit to rule out a urinary problem. Number 2, and this one I love, they let you see them fail. Cats are extremely aware of how they move through space, and they know when they've got it wrong. You've seen your cat misjudge a jump and immediately sit down and groom like it never happened. That's not embarrassment exactly, but it isn't nothing either. So watch what happens after a clumsy moment. Does your cat stay in the room? Because in a feral colony, visible clumsiness is dangerous. Cat showing weakness draws attention, so the instinct to withdraw and regroup runs deep. A newly adopted cat will very often vanish for 20 minutes after knocking something over. I know of a rescue cat who spent her first 6 months doing exactly that. Knock a glass off the table and she'd be gone for an hour. Then, slowly, over months of nothing bad ever happening, she stopped leaving. One day she slid off the arm of the couch, looked up, and simply stayed there and started grooming. That's a cat who has learned that a mistake in front of you costs nothing. If yours slips off something and just carries on with their day, that's what you're looking at. It's a small thing, and it took months of you not reacting to build it. Number 3, and almost nobody watches for this one, where their ears go when you talk. People watch the tail, some watch the eyes, very few watch the ears mid-conversation. Here's what to look for. You're talking, and their ears rotate slightly forward toward your voice, while the rest of the body doesn't move at all. That's not just hearing you, that's choosing to listen. Cats have over 30 muscles in each ear and can rotate them independently, like satellite dishes. And they don't simply hear sound, they filter it. A relaxed cat tunes out the fridge, cars outside, other people talking, but a trusted voice gets tracked. There's a study out of the University of Tokyo which found cats could reliably distinguish their own human's voice from a stranger's. They showed small physical responses to it, ear movement, a head tilt, changes in pupil size, and nothing to unfamiliar voices. And the cats with stronger bonds showed bigger responses. So when those ears swivel toward you while the rest of them stays soft, you're watching a brain that has filed your voice under safe. It triggers relaxation rather than alertness because they've heard it in enough calm moments. And some cats go further and hold both ears forward, wide open, almost cupping the sound. That's full attention, given freely. Not because something startled them, and not because there's a threat, because they decided to listen to you. Number 4, watch how they lie down near you. Try this tonight. Sit in your usual spot. Don't call your cat, don't reach for them, just be there. If they come over, watch how long it takes them to fully lie down. A cat who feels uneasy lies down fast and stays tense. Legs tucked under, head up, weight balanced, so they can be up and gone in a fraction of a second. That's the loaf position, all 4 paws tucked underneath. It looks cozy, and it is, but it's also a ready position. They haven't fully let go. What you want instead is the slow sink. The body loosens, then the legs go, then the head drops, bit by bit. Each stage is a nervous system checking in. Am I still safe? Yes. Until they're completely down and completely soft. There's a study from Oregon State on feline attachment which found around 2/3 of cats form what researchers call a secure attachment to their person. And those cats behave remarkably like securely attached human infants. Person nearby, they relax and settle. Person leaves, they get stressed, and they calm the moment that person returns. That slow sinking is secure attachment happening in front of you, in real time. Your brain has labeled you as a source of safety, and the body responds by letting go of tension in stages. Number 5, and this one feels like an insult. They eat with their back to you. Your cat goes to the bowl, turns completely away, and eats without looking back once. It can feel like being dismissed. It's the opposite. Think about what eating is for a predator. Head down, senses occupied, completely absorbed in one thing. One of the most exposed moments in an animal's day. Which is why feral cats almost always eat facing outward, toward wherever a threat might come from. They scan constantly, lift their head between bites, never fully commit to the meal. So a cat who turns their back to you while eating has decided you are not a threat behind them. They don't need to watch the room because as far as they're concerned, you've got it. And in feral colonies, that relaxed eating only happens between cats who've shared territory long enough to stop worrying about each other. It's a deeply social behavior that looks, on the surface, like total indifference. Some cats go further and only eat properly while you're in the room, stopping if you leave. That's a cat using your presence as cover during their most vulnerable minutes of the day. Number 6, and this is a small one you can test right now. What happens right after they yawn? Wait for your cat to yawn and watch what their eyes do in the half-second afterward. Here's why that moment matters. A proper yawn forces the eyes shut, stretches the jaw wide, and delays their reflexes. For a fraction of a second, they can't see and can't bite. That's a genuine window of being unguarded, and it's why cats in stressful places tend to suppress yawns or do them somewhere hidden. So a cat who yawns hugely and openly right next to you has already decided you're safe. But the real signal is what comes next. They open their eyes, glance at you with a soft, half-closed look, then look away without tensing at all. That's a past trust check. They went briefly defenseless, opened their eyes, saw you, and felt nothing. And some add a slow blink to it. Researchers at Sussex found that behavior functions rather like a feline smile, a genuine communication signal between cats and people. Cats who received slow blinks from humans were more likely to approach them, even complete strangers. So if you get a yawn followed by a slow blink, blink slowly back at them and watch what happens. It's a real conversation, and most people never find out they were invited into it. Number 7, and this is the one nobody talks about. Their litter box habits change over the years. Cats bury their waste, and it's one of the first things they learn from their mother. The reason is survival. Burying hides your scent from predators and rivals. A cat who doesn't bury is a cat who doesn't feel the need to hide. So a long-settled indoor cat who gradually gets more casual about covering may be showing you something. That instinct has been quieted by years of nothing bad ever happening. Interestingly, in feral colonies, it's the most confident, highest-ranking cats who leave waste uncovered. The lower-ranking ones bury very carefully because they don't want to draw attention. Now, I want to be careful here. A sudden change in litter box behavior is a completely different thing. That can be pain, illness, stress, or marking, and a urinary problem in particular can become an emergency fast. So if it came on quickly, or arrived alongside anything else, that's a vet call, not a compliment. What I'm describing is a slow drift over months or years in a cat who is otherwise well and content. That's the version that means something good. Number 8, they stop watching your hands. When you reach toward a cat who doesn't fully trust you, their eyes follow your hand the whole way in. They track it, the muscles tighten a fraction, the pupils adjust. Not necessarily frightened, keeping tabs. A cat who deeply trusts you stops doing that. You reach toward them and their eyes stay on your face, or drift away, or simply close. Researchers talk about cats building predictive models of the people they live with, which is a formal way of saying your cat has assembled a working picture of how you behave. Your routines, your speed, what your hands do. And research in animal cognition has found cats form real expectations about their humans and show surprise when those expectations are broken. So a cat who stops watching your hands has a model of you so complete, tested across thousands of interactions, that checking is no longer necessary. They already know what's coming. And this matters most with a cat who was once hand-shy. If you adopted a cat who flinched at every reach, and months later they close their eyes when your hand comes toward them, that's a rewritten expectation, built one calm interaction at a time. And number 9, the one you feel rather than see. They go limp when you hold them. First, an important caveat. Plenty of cats simply don't like being picked up, and that says nothing at all about trust. So this only applies to cats who allow it. But for those cats, there's an enormous difference between tolerating being held and actually being held. A cat who's tolerating it stays tense, legs stiff, claws maybe slightly out ready to grip, holding their own weight in your arms. They're there, but braced. A cat who trusts you goes soft. Legs dangle. The head drops against your arm or your chest. The breathing slows. Everything lets go. And that softness is the fight or flight response shutting down completely. Because for a small predator, being lifted off the ground has historically meant being caught. That instinct runs very deep, and overriding it takes something stronger, a long history of you being gentle, consistent, and above all, predictable. Here's a detail I find lovely. Cats tend to do it more as they age. Younger cats, even trusting ones, stay a bit tense because their reflexes are sharper. Older cats who've spent years with the same person sometimes soften the instant they're lifted. That only builds over a long shared history. And one thing worth knowing, cats read tension in the person holding them, and they mirror it. So if your cat goes stiff in your arms, check your own shoulders and your own grip. The softer you are, the softer they get. So let me pull it together. The quivering tail is a greeting they can't fake. Staying in the room after a stumble means a mistake costs nothing. Ears tracking your voice means it's filed as safe. A slow sync is secure attachment in real time. Eating with their back turned means you're covering the room. A yawn and a soft glance is a past trust check. Loosening up about burying is an instinct gone quiet. Not watching your hands means they already know what's coming. And going limp in your arms is the deepest instinct they own, overruled by you. None of that is loud. That's rather the point. Cats don't announce trust. They just gradually stop defending against you, and the absence of a defense is a hard thing to notice. It looks like nothing happening. It's actually the whole thing. So tell me in the comments, how many of the 9 does your cat do? I'd particularly like to hear from anyone who adopted a nervous cat and watched these arrive one at a time over the years, because that's the good stuff. Hit like, subscribe, and send this to someone who thinks their cat doesn't like them. I'm Leo Bennett, and go and watch that tail next time you walk through the door.